In this video, I'll show you how John Williams modulates, or changes key. We'll look at examples from 3 different tracks, and we'll also have 3 levels of difficulty. If you want to know what the point of changing keys even is, I'll put a link in the description to a video I made about that very topic. This video is sponsored by the QTube. More about them later. Level 1, the direct path. If you've studied harmony, you might already know that there are certain steps you're supposed to take in formal modulation. Find a common chord between the first and second key, use it as a pivot, and so on. So it might be surprising how often John Williams just skips all that and goes directly from one key to another. For example, in Harry's Wondrous World, he drops from D flat major to C major with no preparation at all. Notice that with the key change also comes a very significant shift in texture, tempo, and feel. Or in Ray's theme from The Force Awakens, there's a transition section where he just goes from B flat minor to B minor. The benefit of this technique is that it's effortless. You need a new key? Just go there. It can also be very surprising. So if you want to jolt your listener awake, or maybe you're scoring a film and something interesting happens in the scene, a direct modulation can be a way to give the music a feeling of significant sudden shift. By the way, if you want a really easy way to change keys without changing much else about the music, going up a minor third pretty much always works. Level 2, the melodic walk. The direct approach is fine, but usually we want the key change to be at least a little bit more smooth. The most common way John Williams does this is actually not with the harmony, but with the melody. This is also probably the most common technique he uses overall, with at least 8 examples across the 3 tracks I looked at. I'm calling it the melodic walk, and it's simply to walk up a scale, or sometimes an arpeggio, and land on a solid chord tone on the new key right on bar 1. It sounds simple enough, right? So near the opening of Harry's Wondrous World, he gets from A minor to C minor by having the melody walk up A, B, C. Like I said, it's pretty simple. But I actually think part of the genius of John Williams is how he's not shy about using the clear and clean techniques that just work. If you want to smoothly transition from one key to another, walk up the scale until you get into the new key. Sometimes he gets fancy with it by using an octatonic scale. So an octatonic scale, or diminished scale, is made by going up a pattern of whole step, half step, whole step, half step, or half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and so on until you reach the octave. It's called an octatonic scale because of the 8 pitches in the scale. The octatonic scale has a lot of fascinating properties, which I won't get into right now. Mark Richards from Film Music Notes has a great course about octatonic scales, which you should definitely check out if you're interested in this kind of music. For now, just know that octatonic scales can sound very unstable, which is perfect if we want to loosen things up and get out of whatever key we're currently in order to land firmly in the new key. So in Ray's theme, he walks up an octatonic scale to modulate from B minor to D minor. Notice how the scale lands firmly on that pitch D. The interesting thing about it is that D is not part of the octatonic scale he was using. And I think that's exactly the reason that it feels like a destination rather than just another note in the climb. In Fox the Phoenix, he extends that octatonic walk across 4 bars to take us from A major to C major. Notice how he does the exact same thing here that he did in Ray's theme. He walks up the scale and lands firmly on C, the tonic of C major, on the downbeat. And once again, C is not part of the octatonic scale he was using. Before I talk about level 3, I want to quickly mention the Q-Tube, this video's sponsor. If you are looking to seriously develop as a film composer, you need to go check out the Q-Tube's library of unscored films, including animations, dramas, documentaries, and horror. Subscribers get free access to a ton of resources, and you can use the special promo code RyanLeach2024 to get 15% off membership through December. All the Q-Tube films are fully licensed, so there are no issues sharing your work on YouTube and social media. It's a great route to creating that attention-grabbing showreel that'll land you real jobs. Level 3, Harmony. This is the one most of you were probably expecting. But surprisingly, in the examples I looked at, he uses harmony to change key about as often as he just jumps to the new key directly. An interesting one happens in Harry's Wondrous World, when he changes key from C major to F major. Here's a piano sketch of the section so we can focus on the chords. Those C and F chords are nice and safe in the key of C major, but already this theme is pretty harmonically adventurous with the B and E7, which are not diatonic to C major. That F-B-F progression has a great fantasy sound. And the E7 comes from C major's relative minor, A minor. What he does here is pretty clever. There's a common technique called a deceptive cadence. This is where you have the 5 chord, and instead of going to 1 like usual and like people expect, you surprise people by going somewhere else. The vast majority of the time, that somewhere else is the 6 chord. So in C major, you could go 1, 5, 6, or C, G, A minor. Or in A minor, you could go 1, 5, 6, or A minor, E7, F. So now we can see where that E7 to F comes from. He's borrowing the 5 chord from the relative minor and then using a deceptive cadence to go up a half step to the 6 chord, F major. Remember, we were in the key of C, and F is the 4 chord, so he could have pretty easily just either gone there directly or used a secondary dominant C7 to get us there. But we're in a fantasy land, so I think the modal borrowing is a way to make things more exotic and colorful sounding. Also notice how that E7 is actually in second inversion, something I noticed John Williams does in the hook score as well. If you want to understand what's going on there, check out this video here. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.